Hello. Well, I've had a nice restful day. I've been in a semi sleep state a whole lot today, getting my chakras balanced and getting things moved out of me that didn't really need to be there. Um, I use a lot of sound therapy, which is available on YouTube. You can use it too. I mean, you don't have to pay somebody to do this for you. It's right here and it's available on YouTube. Now, I wanted to talk to you about, well, some of you may have noticed that I'm not doing the politics as much. I have tried to keep up with you. Tried to let you know that there are certain things that you don't have any control over. Not that I don't wish you did, but it's just not there. Now, you've noticed things, I'm sure, like how with the Democrats wanting to get things done, they're not getting anything done. This is not an accident. These things are planned this way. Now, I hate to insinuate without, well, no, I don't have charts in front of me, which I've got a bunch of stuff. I have a bunch of material that I have collected for years. And I've studied this mystery because it's just such a mystery. I mean, what are they doing? Yeah, what are they doing to our politics? Well, they've been doing it quietly for years. All the bribes, kickbacks, and politicians on the take, you know that. And both sides do it. Republicans do it and the Democrats do it. They're easily bought. Yeah. George Soros with his money and the Koch brothers. Well, there's only one Koch brother now. I think David died. But all their billions that they just buy politicians like 2-cent candy. Now, how do you think these people like Mitch McConnell and yeah, even Nancy Pelosi's very rich. How do you think they got that way? You think their husbands made all that money? Well, in some cases, yes, but not totally. Not all the way. They've made quite a bit of money on their own. Well, all this money in politics it's killed. It's just killed politics. There are no politics left. They've ruined it. The rich have taken it over, the oligarchy people. That's why nothing gets done. They don't want anything to get done. They really don't. And we're the victims of it. It's not okay. You can't have a ball game without two sides. One team does not equal a ball game. You have to have two teams. They had to pretend for decades. They had to pretend that the Democrats and Republicans are in this fight to the death finish. That's a big pretend ball game for them. It's to keep you occupied, to keep you out here running up and down the street trying to get your neighbors to be in your party and things like that. Keep you occupied. Make you think you got a hand in it, that you got a say in it. No, you don't. The ones that have a say in it are the ones that have the money to buy politicians with. They're the ones that have a say in it. You don't. I wish you did. I wish I did. Now it's time everybody just face the facts and see what's really real here. Can't you see it? Does little old Wendy have to point it out to you? I mean, for heaven's sake, can't you see it? All right, you've seen Nancy Pelosi and the others get in there and say, well, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. We're going to hold him to account. And no, they're not. Hell no, they're not. And the reason they're not is because they've been paid off not to. They're lying to you. They're all lying to you. That's why I say that no, they can't be trusted. I hate this. I really do. I hate it. I hate to have to unload. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I really hate to have to be the one to point it out to you, because some of you are going to think I'm nuts. I already know that. I accept that. That's your opinion, and you're entitled to your opinion. I was in two branches of service. I'm sitting here tonight having defended your right to think I'm a nutcase. But I'm telling you, I learned a long time ago. It started in 1974 when my world fell apart in 1974. I can't tell you how it fell apart, almost without crying. It was terrible. Now, nobody died or nothing like that. That's not it. I had just gotten into the Green Beret at that time. We had some very experienced, I'll just call them operators. Oh God, you got no idea how these guys. All right, we had our unit, right. It was in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. That's where my unit had its drills. We were Army Reserve. We were traditional Army, but Reserve, not National Guard. Now, the Vietnam War was winding down. We had these guys, a lot of them were coming back from Vietnam, but some of them, it was 5 of them that was in CCN. I've told you about this before. CCN was Command Control North for the MACSOG group. Well, one of my senior NCOs was one of them. We had 5 of those guys that came back. They served mostly in North Vietnam, but they had access to information not even privy to the most of the Army. They had learned things through dealing with CIA agents mostly. That's how they learned it. And they began to teach me these things and show me what's really going on. When you see this happening on TV, that's just the surface. Dig beneath it. See what's really going on under it. Find out how it got that way. Things like that. So, one of them just called me aside one day, and he said, I realize that you think that this is all John Wayne Mom and apple pie. He said, but it's not. He said, we are part of an international group. He said, what I mean by that is the big boys that want something done in this world, when they want something done, if they want a government toppled or they want this to happen or that to happen, they'll dig up one of our kind of units to go in and do it. He said, and guess what? If it's just out of the question for one group to go do it because of certain situations, then they'll send the British SAS in to do it. Or they'll send the German GSG-9 in to do it. Huh? What? I was thinking about these things as they was telling me. This guy, he was a sergeant, staff sergeant, was telling me. He was one of the CCN boys. And he was letting me know that we're already, and this is 1974, 2 years before I transitioned. He was letting me know that this was an international thing. This has got nothing to do with Mom, John Wayne, and apple pie. And I said, are you trying to tell me we're in bed with the rest of the world on everything? He said, yes, it's not a pretty sight, and we're not proud of it. He said, I wish it all was just U.S. policy, but it's not. He said, even the Russians will go handle problems for these rich people. I said, oh, well, back in 74 and all, it was David Rockefeller. He was the rich guy. And it's always been the Rothschilds. It's always been them. They are the Rothschild banking family of the Bank of England fame. And there are other groups, rich groups of rich people. The Fabian Society, the Church of, the Church of Rome too, and an organization called the Club of Rome, which is into population control. Oh, that's strange. But it all ties together. And it all involves controlling nations, their wealth, and what goes on politically. What you see happening in Washington, D.C., it's a puppet show. Puppet show with the strings and the little characters. That's what you see going on in Washington. You think it's politics. Politics is, listen to me, politics is the puppet show. That I shouldn't be laughing, but what are you going to do? What can you do? This is terrible. This is a terrible thing that you're witnessing. You're living through it right now. You're witnessing it. Well, to get back to what I was talking about, that wrecked my day when he told me that. I don't want to say his name on camera. I remember his name plain as day. But what he told me that day in 1974 it killed the person I was. It just killed me because I wasn't prepared for that. And believe it or not, I heard the same story. I mean, now I didn't tell you everything you told me just now. That's kind of impossible at this point. But I heard the same story again 2 weeks later from a silver bullion sales person. All right, I signed up with this company to sell silver bullion. It was back when they were having financial problems back in the 70s. So I was signed up to sell silver bullion, and I sold some bars, some 32-ounce bars and 64-ounce bars. I sold some. But the director of that particular, I'll tell you who it was. It was the Johnson Matthey Group out of Toronto, Canada. They were the ones that were refining, assaying, and marketing these silver. Oh, they were beautiful bars of silver. They were very beautiful. I had the Johnson Matthey stamp right on each one of them to prove they came from that factory. And they were 999 fine rated. That's a monetary mint. 999 fine. That was stamped on each bar. Well, their main manager, not from Toronto, but from the Charlotte, North Carolina area, who was the main dealer with them, he gave us a talk, a lecture. It was a lecture, yeah, because we had to sit there and listen and not ask questions till he was finished. And my mouth just fell open. That's twice. I got this same message in a 2-week period from people who didn't even know each other. That's the way you test for truth. You get two people that don't know each other and they tell you the same factual things. They know there's something going on. There is something going on that requires a lot more investigation. Now, I'm going to tell you, he told us the story of Adam Weishaupt. Oh, yeah, 1776. Well, there's two revolutions that happened in 1776. One of them, happened here in the United States. The other one happened in Bavaria, Germany. The Illuminati got started. That's what he went into. He covered the whole thing from start to finish. How these Illuminati take care of each other. They infiltrated the Masonic lodges in Europe. And then eventually they got to the United States with their Illuminism. But this group, they're still in control today. They're part of what was helping to keep Hitler alive and financed. you think that was all from Germany? No. Hitler had major financing from the United States bankers. A lot of it. I mean, this is all it's so full of intrigue, it's almost trashy. I mean, it's disgusting to think about. You think politics is honest. It's anything but honest. It is eat up from start to finish. Politics is. All they want to do is to control you. They don't want to be your government. They want to control every damn thing about you. They want to control what you eat, what you breathe. They want to control who you think you are. They want you to be who they want you to be. They don't want you, there's no room in their world for options for you. Their only option for you is to sit down, shut up, and listen, or watch your damn ball game on TV and be happy. That's their options for you. I'm real serious tonight because I get real pissed about this subject. And it's not an Alex Jones type conspiracy theory. This thing's real. If you don't believe it, look at what's happening to your government. Your government's in a, yeah, he declared an emergency, all right. Well, it was in an emergency before he ever declared one, only a different kind. Just take the paper money, for example. It's out of control. It's way out of control. Are you kidding? No, I ain't talking about just the national debt. I'm talking about if you and I went and started doing counterfeit paper money like the government does, you say, well, the government's doing this, so it can't be counterfeit. If you ain't got nothing backing it, it is. There's nothing backing it except land. Someday China's going to want all these public lands we got as payment because we can't pay it back. All that debt that we owe. Well, the only thing we got to pay it back with is land and territory. And they're going to demand payment someday. Do you see a problem evolving here? Well, you better start detecting something because there's some things going on that shouldn't be going on. They're printing greenback dollars and $20 notes and all this stuff like Monopoly play money. It means nothing. It means nothing to them. Roll it off the presses. Just keep it turning. Yeah. Backed by nothing. Now I'm going to tell you who is scarfing all that up. Because they don't even want you to have access to it. The super rich oligarchy. Like the Koch brothers and well, there's people in China too that you don't hear about. There's people in other parts of the world, and the Rothschilds. Rothschilds have more American dollars stashed away than the U.S. government has, probably. They're just buying it up and holding it and keeping it and not turning it loose for circulation because they want to keep their thumb on you, buddy boy. They want to keep their thumb on you. They want total control of everything you think and do. And if they have to if they have to keep wars going, if they have to keep you upset and worried with the weather, which they know how to manipulate. Yes, they can. They can manipulate the weather with disasters and turmoil all over the globe. That's one of the ways they keep you distracted. All these super events that happen in the atmosphere, we didn't have that 20, 30, 40 years ago. We didn't have those. Now we might have an occasional one, but not to the degree they're going on today. And, well, if you want to say it's climate change, that's fine, which it is. But they're not telling you who's changing it because they can change it. And they're doing it. they've got HAARP, and now they've got worse than HAARP. Now they've got platforms up in the upper atmosphere and the ionosphere and orbiting Earth that can, all they got to do is focus some of that onto certain cloud formations and pump it up and turn a thunderstorm cell into a super huge storm that you're going to dread it when it gets to your city. Okay, well, I'm trying not to get distracted off onto other topics, but this is a long subject, and I can't cover it in one video. 1.5 hour treatment of it's not going to do it. But I'm trying to tell you right now how this got started. It happened in 1776 with a group called the Illuminati. Founder was Adam Weishaupt at Bavaria, Germany. Now he had plans with him, and there was a courier carrying his plans to another group of Masons. And just out of nowhere, lightning struck him dead on horseback while he was riding in a storm to another lodge. I think it was a lodge he was headed to for Masons. He was taking his world plan. He had a world plan. He was taking it to the other Masons. Well, the Bavarian police authorities got hold of his plans, and they tried, after they read them, they tried to release them to the Bavarian government and get everybody prepared as to what this group was fixing to do. And nobody wanted to hear it. It was like an Alex Jones situation. Oh, this is too big. Nobody could ever pull this off. Well, they've been pulling it off for over 200 years now. But they haven't pushed it. That's the thing with this. These rich families are behind this. And what they're doing is they're just slowly taking their time, buying governments, buying politicians, getting everything all lined up. It's not just America, it's the other countries as well. They're spending their money to buy politicians to do what they want to do. Now, what's happening with it is that they've gotten bold. They have come so far along with this that they don't care who knows about it anymore. They don't care if you find out that they're buying politicians. They think it's too late. They think that they're in control now. And that pyramid on the dollar bill, yes, that is part of their operation. That pyramid, that all that stuff on there is old Illuminati mixed with Masonic teaching, that they're announcing the birth of the New World Order. Well, yeah, they're trying to go public with some of it, but and George Bush, even he's the first president that ever come out and talked about them. He told them that. I mean, he was publicly talking about the New World Order. George Bush did that. And it's not just one party, it's both parties that are mixed up in it. And they've got you singled out, and me. They've got us singled out. to control. They want to control everything about you. That's why all these phones have gotten so smart. Oh, they're gathering up all kinds of intelligence on you. But they're doing it on everybody. These things like, I think it called Alicia and all that, the smart devices that sit around your house and listen to you, they're doing more than listening, buddy boy. You better believe that. They're recording, they're putting it away for future. Now, what if you were to sit around and talk about conversations like this with your friends and neighbors in your living room? Well, is that device recording all of y'all's input about the government? Well, they may decide to use that against you someday. Who knows? Who knows where this is going to go? I don't have to speculate on it too much because the history of the governments of the world, the way they do things, is pretty plain. They're going to control you any and every way they can control you. And they've got the church in there with them, helping to control you, to keep you settled down and not going nuts on them. Because they tell the word to the pastors is this: you control them, and you can raise funds, and we won't tax you. You control them for us, or we'll control them, and we may have to kill them if we control them. So it's nicer and easier if you control them. You do it for us. That's what the government's telling the churches. It's all about control. I'm sorry, but it is. And it's 32 minutes. I went 2 minutes over my little self-imposed limit. But this is just the introduction. This is a bad situation. This is the introduction, though, to the topic. And I'll be doing some more tapes on this. Or they're not tapes, they're videos, but whatever you want to call it. It's a very depressing subject. I hate it, but it's necessary. It ruined my day back in 1974 when I was suddenly, and then again 2 weeks later. How's a story like this? I mean, this has to be true because nothing's getting done in Washington. It has to be true. There's no other option for it. It's not a fairy tale. I wish it was, but it's not. This is terrible. And it's going on in Britain too. But the Rothschilds of the Bank of England, they're partially responsible for it. I mean, they're the biggest bankers in the world. They tell all the other banks what to do. Well, let me end this. There is no suitable place to end it. It's just a mess. And we're stuck in the middle of it, and we're having to try to correct it. But about politics, I just really don't know what to tell you except these facts. Now, you can do with these facts what you want to, but they are facts, and they have happened, and they have set us up for a big fall. That's what they've done. So, and I don't know when the play money's going to run out. I don't know. They're just rolling off play money like it's out of a Monopoly game or something. You just have to wait and see on that one. But anyway, okay, let's shut this off. Goodbye, good night. It's Saturday night. Look here what I'm doing. Like I said, this is very bad news for the whole world, not just the U.S., but it's the way things operate. And I can't do nothing about it right now, and you can't either. Except except be aware of it. Stop being fooled by these people. Okay. Night night. Bye.